Hello, Steve89. Well, the DC Fandome, of course, just happened, and the big things for me were wanting to see another Wonder Woman trailer and the new Batman trailer. And I looked at them yesterday, and I was kind of surprised by the Batman trailer. It looked better than I thought. A lot of things didn't look like I thought. Wonder Woman, we already knew what it was going to look like. It was sort of like, it was just nice to see more of it. But a lot of people are talking about some other things. I sort of wanted to space them out. I didn't want to just watch them all. I wanted a bit of time to digest them. So there was the sneak peek at the Snyder Cut and the Suicide Squad, or the trailer for the Snyder Cut and the sneak peek for the Suicide Squad. So I start with the Snyder Cut. Now, the Snyder Cut was something there was just so much drama about for so long. People denied it existed, and there was all these fans fighting for it. And it was interesting to follow without really having a dog in the fight. I wasn't really desperate for it to be released. Like, I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I'm desperate for the show to go back to Paramount and have someone actually take charge of it properly. I didn't sort of have that sort of anxiety with this film, where a lot of people were really like, they knew it existed and they had to see it. It was like they couldn't imagine living without seeing this sort of version, or what they think is like the ultimate or the preferred version or whatever. So it was sort of interesting to see all the fan debates and all that. And the problem with the preview is, of course, I saw the film once in the cinema, and I only saw it for Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot, I don't know how to say her name. I love her. I love Wonder Woman. I only saw it for that, and I didn't really like it. It was sort of like, really? Okay, I don't recognise this idea of superheroes. I didn't like Superman either. Superman, what was the name of the Superman film? Whatever. The first one with Henry Cavill. I didn't really like that, and it was grim and dark, and just the whole superheroes. The kids. When I was a kid, the superheroes I grew up loving and respecting and idolizing and learning morals from were these horrible people trying to kill each other. So I just really wasn't invested in this sort of round of DC, except for Wonder Woman. So when I watched the preview, I'm like, oh, I just realised I remember so little about the film. I don't know if this looks better. It looks good, but I don't, and nothing really looked overly familiar to me. Some people have said it's great, it looks different, it looks like a new film, it looks like there's going to be something, all the different elements. And other people are saying it looks just like the same film, just like different takes. And I'm like, well, I think the director was actually knocking back on that, because it was someone else in the production of the release film who was criticising and acting like it was basically just different cuts or different shots or different takes or something like that, which is sort of undermining the huge difference between the two cuts. And I've seen this happen with a few films where we've had different cuts because someone took over and they reshot large sections of the film and that. So it's just something that needs to be respected. If you have two different versions of a film, they should be presented as they both are and be seen as pretty much two different works. The idea of one director or one person working on one film attacking someone for working on the first version, whatever, it's pretty low. So I wasn't impressed by that, and I'm not mentioning any names, partly because I can't remember one of them. But so I was watching it, I'm like, well, this looks good, but I actually can't see what's different because I didn't remember so much of the film, so I don't have much to say except it just looks good. I was surprised in the aspect ratio, but whatever. But I'm just glad it's being released. I'm going to have a little marathon. I'll watch the first one as it was released, and then I'll watch that one and do a comparison, and it'll be interesting just to hear what other people say. Now, Suicide Squad was a little bit different. They did a two-part teaser, preview, sneak preview thing, where they just have interviews with Margot Robbie and Idris Elba and James Gunn and someone else who I didn't really recognise. And it's interesting. They use a lot of catchwords and a lot of those horrible phrases that you see on promo tours, like, and just some of the statements are pretty like, oh, it's the greatest film I've ever done. It's the most amazing sort of experience making a film, my life-changing event, just all this big talk from James Gunn. And I want to check out the cast list before I forget. I wanted to mention that the cast list is huge. I mean, huge. The second preview, the first preview is just people talking, and where is that one? Okay, the Suicide. Yep. They're just talking about working on the film, but they're all just. And Idris says the stupidest thing anyone can say. He says, it's like one great graphic novel brought to life. And I'm like, yeah, I had to read the quote again. Graphic novel brought to life. That's the point. It's a comic book movie. I'm like, who are you saying that for? Someone who doesn't know what the film... It's just... Some of this PR stuff where they're just... The same terms they use when they're promoting every film. It tells you nothing about the actual film. It tells you nothing about the story. You do see some footage though. You get to see the costumes. Margot Robbie actually looks like Harley Quinn. They've dragged her out of the horrible Birds of Prey outfits and that whole mindset, and she actually seems to be acting like Harley Quinn, so that's good. And there's a whole bunch of just little snippets. You just, like, someone described it as a 70s war movie, and you see shots of them like fighting, and they look like they're running, charging into battle, and what else? I don't know, just a lot of things blowing up, and them talking about blowing things up, and just saying you're not going to know what's going to happen, you're going to be surprised. Once you think you know what's happening, James Gunn just, throws you on your ear and blah, 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 blah. Really? Oh, that's so disappointing. I wanted to go through the long list of cast members, so I thought, I'll just go to Wikipedia while I'm doing my video. They're only listing the main stars. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? It's like Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, John Cena, Joel Kinnaman, Peter Capaldi, Viola Davis. I know there's Pete Davidson. I'm drawing a blank, but the second preview is 2 minutes just of actor, character. So it's like a 4-minute preview made up of a sneak peek and then just like it's like an animated sort of preview where you just get an image of a couple of images of each character, and it has the name of the character, name of the actor. And there's so many of them, and I wanted to read through them all, but they don't have them. Maybe they've got it in the whole extended cast. Oh, okay, yeah, it's a whole bunch of people. Like, I was playing Bloodsport. Now, I don't know half of these characters, and that's the other interesting thing. I'm like, who are these people? Obviously, they're characters that have been had smaller roles in the DC universe or Marvel universe or whatever. I don't know if there's any crossovers, but I haven't heard of any of them. Peacemaker, John Cena looks like an absolute joke, and he's like a poor man's Captain America, and apparently he's basically peace at all costs, no matter who it kills. And who else was there that I knew by name that I thought, wow, they're in this? There's a couple of people. Where are they? Oh well, this didn't go as planned. Oh well, at least Viola Davis is back. But yeah, so it was interesting because one preview gave us everything, but I couldn't remember the first film, so I couldn't compare it to anything. So I realised, wow, I really needed to watch the first film, or at least familiarise myself with it to actually get what they're actually offering us that's different. And the other film, of course, the other preview, of course, gave us nothing except a bunch of buzzwords and pep and promises, and it's going to be the greatest film ever, the biggest thing you've ever seen, it's the biggest film ever done, blah 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 blah. It all means nothing. But the footage that they do show, while they're throwing out all these meaningless sort of PR terms, does actually look good. So I'm more hopeful. I didn't mind the first film. I thought it was a bit dry in a few parts where it wasn't a lot of fun. It was a bit grim. But I overall did enjoy it. I hadn't planned to see it. I had gone to see another film, and I came out and all these people were in costume. Like, oh, what's this? And I saw some people I knew from the conventions, and I started chatting to them, and I said, well, I'd love to see it, but it's going to end after the last tram. I've got nowhere to get home. And he said, Batman? The guy who's dressed as 1989 Batman said, oh, I'll give you a lift home. I'm like, okay. So I ran. There was actually at least one ticket available, which there shouldn't have been because it was supposed to be sold out. I went in, I watched it, I enjoyed it, didn't know anything, no expectations. This was IMAX, big huge cinema. Afterwards, met up with the guy, went to his car, dressed as Batman. So I'm in the car with 1989 Batman, and I'm feeling like Vicky Vale. I'm just sort of looking at him like, and it was really weird. Something he was really willing to give me a lift. I'm like, is he gay? Does he think that I've got like a superhero fetish, or I'm going to get jiggy for the Batman outfit or something? But nothing happened. He just dropped me off, and then the next time I saw him, he wasn't as friendly. I'm like, maybe he was. Maybe he just forgot who I was. It was an interesting moment. And yeah, so I couldn't really. This one I couldn't compare anything to. The other one didn't actually give us much, but it was. I guess it was worth the wait. A lot of people are excited. A lot of people who know more about the comics than me are very excited, and it's just fun. I'm going to go see the film either way, and I am going to watch the other films again. I need to do some superhero marathons. A lot of these films, I saw them once in the cinema, really absorbed them, and just went off into the world feeling like I sort of got them. I didn't really go back and watch them. Bought them on DVD, bought them on Blu-ray. Meant to do like a marathon. Normally before each new film comes out, I think, oh, watch all the other films. I just have never done it. I was going to do it before Endgame, didn't do it. But thanks to Rona, the Corona Zone, and all the time we've got, I might actually do it. But I'm going to go. I waffled on far longer than I thought. I really just sort of wanted to watch them, and then I sort of wanted to comment on the fact that there wasn't as much as I thought I was going to get from them. But everyone's excited, and they did a much better job than Comic-Con. Comic-Con, there was nothing. There was just nothing. No new news, no nothing. This actually gave us some previews, some talk. People are excited about Batman because there's actually some new images and some new a new reboot basically. Whereas the other ones are more just continuations of stuff or variations of stuff we already know. So I'm done. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Comments are fun, and maybe even ding that bell. Lord knows, I keep forgetting it even exists and telling people to use it. I'm going to go. Bye.